Hey everybody, Taylor Lyles with the Greenville Home Builders Association, and this is the Think Big podcast. Good morning and welcome to the Think Big podcast. I am your host, Taylor Lyles, Chief Executive Officer of the Home Builders Association, and I'm very excited today. We have a special guest, Jim Burns, former county council member, jack of all trades, but most importantly, the COO of Hartness. If you don't know about Hartness, Jim?
Going to tell you all about it.
Tell me all about it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Taylor. Great to be here. So Hartness is a development company, and what we, kind of our vision and motto is really we want to develop special places. We want to develop neighborhoods that create communities, and our obviously the biggest one that we're doing right now is off of Highway 14, and it runs all the way over to Garlington Road, just below Pelham Road there, and we have 500 acres. It's a just incredibly special tract of land that the Hartness family put together over, probably 30 or 35 years together. Pat Hartness started buying land, I believe in the early 70s, actually moved onto the property toward the early 80s, brought Hartness International over from Poinsett Highway sometime in the late 80s, and it's just that there have been pieces that have been added on over the last several years as they decided to create this new urbanist community. And so it's a just incredibly special piece of land, but it's also what we're trying to do is really create a community. We're trying to create things and do things in a really a particular way. The streets are more narrow than the general street. The lots are smaller, lots of common space, really to the sense of doing things in a creative manner and with some somewhat rigid guidelines so that the vision is intact from the beginning to the end. Being 500 acres, we've got a long ramp to get till we're done, and everything from the green streets, the 15 miles of trails, the 180 acres of preserve, all of this just creates just a great atmosphere for a community. We've got both mixed use, so we've got the residential pieces of it, and multiple different types of residential pieces. We'll talk about that at some point, I'm sure, because I look at it too from a development standpoint of kind of myth busting in our area. Something we have a 900 square foot house that's next to a 4,000 square foot house, and the 900 square foot house actually gets more on a per square foot basis than the 4,000. So we've got just some of the ways we're doing storm drainage, some of the ways we're like I mentioned, the roads widths. And then it also creates a sense when you provide this great walkway even to the mailbox, and
Yep.
you meet your neighbors, and you've got your private space, and then you've got kind of a lot of public space where you interact with people. So it's a creative way, but the whole vision of Hartness Development is to find special tracts of land and then develop special places particular to how that land is originally.
I love it. So Hartness, we'll just kind of dive into it. Hartness as a community, kind of that live, work, play concept. You've got restaurants, you've got real estate offices, you've got other office complexes, you've got Hotel Hartness, which, y'all, if you haven't been to Hotel Hartness, it is a true gem.
Thank you.
That was one of the former houses, correct?
That was actually, so the Hotel Hartness was Pat Hartness's house that he built, and his two sons, Sean, that's still here with us and working with us day to day. Sean's actually the CEO of Hartness Development, and they lived in that house. They grew up in that house from most of their teenage years at least, and so we. Pat now lives in the neighborhood in a newer house, but we turned the old residence into the what we call the manor house, which is a the captain's bar and meeting space and kind of the check-in for the hotel before you get out to the Patterson and the spa and the hotel, the rooms wing of it. So yeah, it's actually it's a very adaptive reuse, we'll call it. Yeah.
I mean, it's great because you've got historical markers there of what the property was, especially with the green space, especially with the old Hartness International space still there. You know, that community and bringing communities together, just like they did with Verde, just like what they've done with Augusta Road. I mean, creating that walkability has been key in that community.
Absolutely. With the trails, I mean, just look at the sidewalks that we're putting in. There's always a sidewalk. The sidewalks get you to the open spaces or the amenities. We have the sports court. We have a great new swimming complex that's there. We're adding pickleball, racquetball, tennis courts, and a clubhouse and lots of other things that are more within the nature preserve as well. So it really is about walkability. You know, we have a lot of golf carts in the community to get from the residential sections over to the commercial areas. And yeah, we're excited. Our second commercial building it will open up, late summer, early fall. And we've got some great new tenants that are going in there. And of course, the hotel's been just a tremendous hit, both with the neighborhood and the community at large. And so we're very fortunate to have had great design, great planning first. Lou Oliver and his genius in how to kind of lay everything out, but then the design aspects of it, and we have an architecture review board that works really hard to try to maintain the original vision and allow for changes that we kind of we saw with whether it's supply chain things or not. We have to allow for some of the changes that need to continue the construction, but at the same time keeping the integrity of the original vision.
Yeah. So I think one of the most unique parts is you go into a master plan community and they're thought out, but I think Hartness takes it to a new level. And it, in my mind, it's not only the layout, it's not only the amenities, it's the culture that it's created, but it even goes down to the 6-inch tall granite curbing. I'm like, I drove in there for the first time. This was years ago, and I'm like, they got $100 million at least in curbing in this place.
Well, so that's part of the kind of differentiating ourselves from a typical. We're in the suburbs, so a typical suburban thing. You'll see those in the streets. Now the granite curbing is only in some pieces, and that's a double-edged sword too. Because if you hit your tire into that granite curb, man, we've had a lot of people that are cussing at our design specifications. Sure. But the rest of it, the rest of the neighborhood, excuse me, even the stand-up, there's stand-up curbs. There aren't a lot of people doing that, obviously.
Correct.
But it does differentiate us, and it's something that we're trying to figure out how to do things a little bit differently. And so that actually came from just seeing some of the other new urbanist communities around the country when we were just starting. And the granite section, of course, is right up there, more in the commercial district.
Yep.
And it really does. It's a double-edged sword. I'll just say that. I've had people that love it and people that didn't love it.
Yeah, if you have a low-profile tire, be very cautious.
That's right. Just
be very cautious.
And a lot of those things, that's one of the things that slows traffic down. It's natural ways to slow traffic down. We've got roundabouts that slow traffic down. We've got the tighter streets so that you feel like, oh, I gotta slow down to, there's a car coming at me. And it's still, we work with, all the fire marshals and the fire districts to make sure that the safety components are number one. But it naturally slows cars down, creates that sense of safety when you're walking beside it. Yep. And that's what it's all about.
Let's get real for a second. Are you dumping money into marketing but barely seeing any results? Go Digital can help. Using their marketing matrix, they zero in on your target audience and engage them where it matters the most. Go Digital acts as your full-service marketing team, saving you the hassle and cost of building an entire in-house team or trusting random gurus you found on the internet. It is also important to note that they don't just serve home service businesses, they own one. They've been in your shoes, they know what works because they've lived it. Wondering why I know so much about them? It's because I've been a client for them over a year, and I couldn't be happier with the results. So if you're ready to start winning more leads for less, hit the link in the show notes and schedule a free 20-minute consultation today. Yeah. So currently, Hartness has how many homes roughly?
About 300.
Okay.
We have 300, and probably 250 of them are occupied and lived in. They're probably anywhere, there's, let's say, 10 to 15 that are for sale right now and another 35 in construction.
Okay. And they're all to-be-builts, correct? Or do you have spec homes in there?
We have spec homes in there as well. Yeah, as members of our builder guild, commit to a certain number of spec homes to be going at each time, and then they're eligible to do the custom homes as well.
Very cool. So 500 acres, 180 preserved, a good bit of it's built out. How much more land, I guess is the best way to say it?
Yeah, we're coming up on, we're right now, what's in construction is phase 5, and phase 5 and then phase 6 starts to do the grand lawn, which, back to the history part of it, the grand lawn was actually the old runway. The Hartness family very much into aviation, and they used to land their planes. They have several planes that are now out at a place called Triple Tree out in Woodruff. And but that's part of the history. But we've probably got, depending on how we parcel some things up, probably 8 or 9 phases that'll go on. And then the 2 commercial districts. There's the village center that we're calling, that's right when you pull off of Highway 14, and then where the old manufacturing site. Eventually, that becomes kind of a mixed use area with some commercial over there as well.
I've seen some renderings of what it could look like, and I think it'd be so cool just to have that in the backyard. Like that's a huge bonus for the homeowners there. I mean, being able to not have to fight traffic on 14, or just being able to not have to get on Woodruff or Pelham, being able to take your golf cart and it's in your community.
And those are the kind of commercial things that we're looking for. Actually, we're very much curating the mix of folks that are coming in there, because we want to make sure that it does have that, so that even if you work off somewhere else, can we get we have a mix of restaurants and some office space. We've got Brio that's coming over there now, so you have a mixture of some medical office situations there as well. We want a market to come in and have a little, some kind of market that serves not only the folks in Hartness that live in Hartness, but anyone along the Highway 14 or Garlington Road corridor that is be easy to access. Don't have to get on Pelham. And certainly for our residents, the bonus is you've got it all right there for to live and get the basic accessories. Have lots of different dining options. And really be able to stay on property much more than a traditional neighborhood would.
Jim, we just need to get Carl to open up a restaurant out there.
Look, man, we've already talked to him. Yeah, we've got some great. We've got the 1-5 that's over there, and of course Patterson, which is over there at Hotel Hartness. The guys at 1-5 do such a great job, and we're super excited. They're just they're really doing well, and we've got some more conversations going with lots of different folks about, we don't want to have 2 pizza restaurants or 2. We want to have, the one of each, and we want the best of them that we can get. So we're definitely trying to curate and keep those things there and make them successful. Yeah. And so far, we're super excited about the ones that are coming in the fall. So a Chestnut Coffee is coming in, the Wine House, the guys from Wine House are coming in. We've got Diggs Design, which is an interior design group. Okay. And it's called Cork Beauty Bar, which is a blowout, what do you call it? I'm the wrong guy to talk about her. Karen's going to kill me because I should know this better. But Karen Weaver, who is always Day Spa, is doing that, and it's just we're excited about her being in there and kind of opening this new concept.
Now, Cork Beauty, beauty bar? Is it kind of like a wine inspired?
What she's told me, and this is another thing that makes me excited. She's got prosecco on tap. So I love that I'm going to design a place that we're going to put there where I get a mimosa every morning when I walk into the office.
I mean, that's office standards.
Why would you not want that? Yeah.
During
exactly.
the renovation upstairs, maybe we should put one in, Jenna. What do you think?
Well, you have an HBA office over there. Absolutely. Let's do that.
Maybe. Hey, forget the remodel. We're moving over there.
Come on. For you, we'll get you a good deal.
Yeah, I'm sure. The association would. I don't think all of our members would love that.
Probably might be. They might see that as a little biased.
Yeah. I think so.
I get that.
Yeah. The office is coming along upstairs. We're super excited.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it. Yeah.
It's going to be a phenomenal finished product training room.
Yeah.
Bigger boardroom. Podcast room, dedicated podcast room. We're stepping our game up.
He wants to keep doing a lot of this, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
Well, it's been a great member benefit just featuring our members and being able to let their voice be heard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I get some texts from council members every once in a while. It'll be about 9:30 at night. Taylor, can you add clarification to this one statement? And I'm like, yes. I just love the fact that you're listening.
That's right. The fact that they're listening. I remember that Michael Day and I, when I was on council, Michael Day and I had a great ongoing dialogue, and so I imagine if they use you as a resource and say, hey, this is just what the development community, the home building world is talking about, both the good and the bad.
Yep.
Then that's a positive and a great outcome for things like this.
Yeah, we'll dive into that maybe on an after hours Think Big podcast. It's
these will be bourbon.
This will be bourbon.
Yeah,
we'll have cigars.
Nice.
We'll sit on the dock at the lake house.
There you go.
And then unleash.
And let it go.
No. So total, before we wrap up Hartness, total lots, projected lots. How big is this community going to be?
It's going to be around with what in our P&D we have residential units, right? So like that, and that's one of the things that we're doing in what I call the myth busting is not only do we have the smaller houses and the bigger house, but we have townhomes there. And so one of the things around the village center that we're doing is we're right now in for 60 townhomes that there. So everywhere 4-packs, 6-packs, 3-packs of townhomes, because what we're seeing, and those will all be for sale right now on this piece that we're doing, those will all be for sale, and they're what we're seeing is a demand for more of those kind of things, and people when they want that, they want to be close to those amenities, close to those restaurants, close to those coffee houses and everything like that. So all totaled, it will probably be around 1,000. As you include the homestead is in the PD as well. So the homestead at Hartness, which is the 140 single-family homes that are all for rent, that's on the kind of the other side of the Garlington Road side of the property, just down from the new fire station, which we were really excited to partner with Boiling Springs Fire Department to put their new headquarters and the new fire department, get it off of Pelham Road and off that corner. And we're really hopeful now that allows the county and DOT to work together to make some big improvements to that intersection there. But yeah, it's kind of hard to pinpoint a number because it depends how big a lots and what are townhomes and what are not. But
around 1,000.
Around 1,000, yeah.
Which I will sidebar the conversation for just a second. That is one of the prettiest fire departments. Yeah. With the biggest retaining wall I've ever seen.
I tell you what, both the Hogan Construction did that, and they did a fantastic job, and the designers, they're just, I think the fire department, Chief Graham and his board, they took it personally, and if you go inside that, you see how they took it personally because the amenities they have for their firefighters and the places for them to be, when they're on and they're hanging out there, it's a great, a great residential piece because they stay there, obviously if they're on, and got the kitchens and everything, and it really feels, it's got a feel of home on the top floor, and then the top floor is completely separated from below, which is where the the headquarters piece of. So just a great collaborative effort with designers, the construction team, and we were happy to have a small part in that. And the outside of it, when they presented it to us, we were like, this is fantastic.
Yeah. So it's not like a traditional hunting lodge with just bunk beds across one open room.
Yeah. No, and just, I how many times do you get to go into a fire station and learn how they're constructing it? But there's so many things that I wouldn't. I mean, there's literally exhaust tubes that just, like, attach to all the fire engines when they're in the garage. So when they start it, they don't pollute the air. It goes right into the tubes, which are dispersed outside of the environment. Yeah, I mean, so all kinds of everything that I guess is now state of the art, they've got in there, and they've done a fantastic job.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So kind of diving into the conversation. So Hartness, master plan community, a lot of visions going into it. That also has to have some complications with growth.
Yeah.
So what are y'all experiencing? Kind of what direction are y'all getting headwind on? Builders, trades, realtors. If you're looking for a flooring partner you can trust, look no further. I'm here to tell you about All About Flooring. All About Flooring is a family-owned business with 3 generations of owners that know the flooring business inside and out. They work in residential and commercial projects for both new builds and remodels by providing high-quality customer service and installation for carpet, area rugs, hardwoods, laminate, luxury vinyl, and more. Y'all, they even provide professional carpet, tile, and upholstery cleaning. At All About Flooring, they're more than just a flooring provider. They're your partner in delivering top-tier results that your customers will absolutely love. You can find their website linked in the show notes, or visit their 9,000 square foot showroom at 2111 North Pleasantburg Drive. Now, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is that at the beginning, as we were going through the process, right, Greenville County had not seen anything like this. We didn't, like, a lot of the codes didn't address, So you look at how Verde did it, and Verde's in the city, Hollingsworth, and they did it by kind of parceling out the pieces and say, all right, this builder's going to do here, and these are going to be the custom lots, and then we got another builder here, and somebody else comes and does it. And each one of those components has its own HOA. They have their own, and how Hartness differs from that is everybody ends up in the HOA.
Yep.
Everybody on the for sale side, if you buy a whether it's a townhome, whether it's a single family lot, you buy in Hartness, you're part of the HOA. You've got the amenities that are specific to the HOA. Just the new urbanist aspects of it were kind of different from what anybody else had tried in Greenville County. And so I think both the codes themselves, we've had to go back and try to get some, all right, we can't interpret it like a normal subdivision because ours keeps going. For right now, it keeps going. And so our final development plan, a typical PD, a final development plan, gets submitted and that's it. Well, our final development plan, it has to be changed every single time we do a new phase. And that's both good because it allows, from our standpoint, it allows us the flexibility to, listen to the market trends, see where things are going. Bigger lots, we've got phase 4, we've got half-acre lots that are over there because that was both a market trend and people that came to us. And so that was a piece of land that we actually acquired. It's part of the village center, and then the other piece of it is what we call phase 4, which are half-acre to 3/4 acre lots. So those are the kind of things that being in a plan development, in a PD, that allows you the flexibility, and that's why you have those districts. That's why we have those zoning classifications. It all fits in within a certain set of master rules.
Yep.
But you got the flexibility as we work our way across the property to be systematic about how we develop and when we develop different things, and so that's just that. You can imagine the inspectors coming out and saying, "Wait a minute, the road's not going to stop here." You're like, no, it's going to continue. And the next phase, it's going to keep going. And they're like, "When's the next phase?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know." And so stormwater and everything. But we've tried to turn it into, we're not going to do the minimum. We're not going to be, just kind of the baseline.
Yep.
And so we've talked with stormwater and worked with the county folks and said, you tell us, if you went to the conference, the annual conference, and they've got something new that you want to try about inlet covers or whatever, anything that comes on, if it doesn't break the bank and we can be the guinea pig to try it, let's do that.
Yeah.
And so it really it helped for us to develop a conversational relationship with county staff. I really hate T. Coker's leaving. I hope they get somebody great there.
Yep.
But T saw the vision and then he passed that down to his folks and so through zoning and just plats and doing all that. That's kind of our biggest thing right now is God bless some of the staff that are there because they don't have enough staff over there and they've got deadlines that they've got to meet that sometimes aren't realistic. And so we applaud working together with them to get it done. And sometimes, it doesn't. We're not always friendly because we've got deadlines and we've got bank notes and we've got all kinds of things that are going on. But we try to keep it, keep it out in front of problems and also make sure they understand the bigger vision. So we try to get county staff over there at least once every 2 years and say here's what we did in the last 2 years and here's what we're looking forward to, and you guys give us feedback. How can we be better? And then we'll tell you where we've hit roadblocks too. So
yeah, I think that's such a unique concept because it's more of a living master plan.
Exactly.
And with it constantly evolving, but you're open for input.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing. You get some neighborhoods and developers and everybody falls into it every once in a while. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how the zoning reads. This is what the code says. I'm going to do it this way. And you just get this pushback. And they're at no point in the day does anybody win at that point.
Right.
So I think one thing, and I will say T was absolutely phenomenal. And Simpsonville, the city of Simpsonville has a unicorn now.
Yeah, I got a good one. Yep.
And I truly hated to see him go. But you're right. I mean, county staff said, I think they're now below 50% in staffing right now. They're drowning, for lack of better words, and we just keep cutting, and it's not making anybody's life easier from inspections to approvals to preliminary plat, final plat, anything. I mean,
anything like that.
If a plat should take, let's say it should take 3 to 6 months to get your final plat, it's now taken 14 to 18 months.
Yeah.
And it's super difficult. So being willing to work with staff and council, and I think that's a huge win for Hartness as a group in its whole.
Right. And we have our ups and downs, obviously, and I think I'll throw in the utility groups too. The utilities in general have been really good to work with as well because we tell them what's coming up next too. So whether Lawrence Electric's been great, the sewer, Metro is coming out there, and we have our ups and downs, but that their leadership has been phenomenal, and we're trying to say, all right, we're going to get in, let's get ahead of it, and tell you exactly what we're thinking. And Phase 5 goes into phase, so what we're doing right now, we're constructing Phase 5, and the sewer line for Phase 5 is also going to be the main sewer line for Phase 6. So we're putting that in the ground, and we're working with them, and I won't say they've been creative because they're following their rules, but at the same time, they're saying when they understand what the end product will look like, or at least as much as we know at this time. Then we can say we want you to know, we want you to help us predict what might be coming down the pipe. We had Lawrence Electric was out there the other day because we're constructing a roundabout, and they've got a power pole that's live right in the middle of it, and I'm like, okay, we got to get rid of this one here.
We need this one relocated.
And they're putting everything underground anyway, so it just the timing isn't matching up, so we got to figure that one out. But they whether it's Greenville Water, the sewer districts, it's very different so it's not just different from the county staff perspective and zonings and things like that. From a utility planning perspective, it's very different too, because they'll ask me, well, on that piece of land, how many houses are you going to put on that? And I'm like, when we get to it, I'll be able to tell you. Yeah. Give me a top set if we don't, so that we don't screw something up.
Yeah.
And we try to live by that. But phase 5 is under construction. Phase 6 is, we've gone through preliminary planning. But phase 7, we just know we have a piece of land that's dubbed phase 7. We don't know what's going to go there yet. And that's both the beauty of it, that we get to react to what's happening, and also kind of it's problematic in planning ahead.
Yep. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So with all that forethought, with all of that going on, what is the big driver for you that makes you passionate about Hartness?
Oh man, I think it goes to that sense of creating the community. I've been very fortunate throughout my career. Most of my career, was more in commercial project management and running really large projects and everything. And so when you see those, and it's kind of like you get done with it, and then you turn over the key, and you say, hey, you guys enjoy, we're excited about how it came out, and it's great when you get to drive by those things. I was fortunate enough to do TD's campus on 85, and that was just a wonderful process and just unbelievable time. But now at Hartness, I'm there every day. So that's the other thing that's very different, is that we're the developer, and we have a construction arm that builds homes, but we're right there on property.
Yep.
And we're going to be on property throughout the duration of this, the development process. So you've got both the owners that are there. Pat Hartness lives on the Grand Lawn, and Sean's there every day, and so that's very different to have the people there, and for us to be located there, it allows. Accessibility to us is both that's another one of those double-edged swords. Sometimes I have to stay at home just so I can get things done, because we get interrupted from time to time. But we get to create a sense of community, and we're doing everything to create it to where your neighbors, and you feel a sense that you belong in this, because and the architecture and the layout, the land planning, it all creates that. It can be additive to that feeling, or it can be negative to that feeling. And what we're doing, I really believe, has a sense of being additive to creating that feel of community.
I love it. That's fantastic. Listen, if you haven't been to Hartness, you got to go check it out.
Thanks. Yeah.
As we wrap it up, the one thing I'll note, the bleach trees are spectacular. They're absolutely stunning. I love it. Yeah. And it, again, goes into forethought.
It goes, that was an effort to create kind of a European style garden environment over there. And it's just things that you learn along the way that you're like, oh, we're going to do that. We
just don't trim them.
Trim them the right way. Don't try to make the rectangles into circles.
Into circles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love it. Well, so if consumers, if realtors, if builders are all interested in Hartness, what's the best way to reach out to you?
HartnessLiving.com is there. We have a great sales team that's on staff that are there every day, and we're constantly doing open houses and doing tours. The best thing to do, especially a beautiful day like today, the best thing to do is to get out there and get on a tour with one of our salespeople and understand what that lifestyle can be for you. And does that matter? It's not. It does. Some people don't like it. It's their houses are too close for me, or the shared things are not necessarily their cup of tea. But if the sense of community, if that's what you're looking for, so you're not worried about whether, if your kids are down at the creek or they're playing on the basketball court or at the pool, because they can walk there, they can walk safely there.
Yep.
And you've got a great neighborhood association and lots of things that you can do right there on property from both leisure, health. We've got the Hartness Farm and you can, our residents and the outside can purchase Hartness vegetables and everything. We got the chickens that almost hatching. We got a new batch of chickens in the springtime, and so they'll start laying eggs. So it's it's about a lifestyle, and I think to really do Hartness justice is to come out there, get that tour, understand what we're talking about on site.
Yep.
And that's the best thing we can do to really expose. And we keep doing more and more to get everybody out there, and you'll hear more about some of the new things that are coming as well.
I love it.
Yeah.
Get a tour, get a glass of wine, get some good food.
Absolutely.
And buy a house.
And just enjoy while you're doing that. Enjoy all our great partners that are out there with us. Yeah.
And Hartness Farm, the market comes back.
Well, I think they're starting them now. So they're starting. Here we are in the middle of February, and there's they're the in-season vegetables that are there. But yeah, he's got our guy Steven does just a phenomenal job. All natural, all organic stuff that he uses, and he I think it's at the carriage house at the hotel right now.
Okay.
Saturday morning, and then he's got something. Hartness residents get kind of a preview show on Thursday, so it's
very
just
cool.
a great little added benefit. Yeah.
Well, I guess I know where I'm going to get my vegetables.
Come on,
Saturday
man! Come
morning.
on, get it. Yeah, you need to make sure your son grows up with good, healthy stuff. There, buddy.
I'm gonna try. I've turned him into a little bougie, but
I wonder how he got it. Wow,
we like the finer things in life.
That's surprising. Yeah.
Only top shelf Boone's Farm wine for us. I love it.
I don't believe we have that actually.
No.
At the Captain.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, Jim, thank you for your time.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate you being on the podcast. Y'all, this wraps up another episode of the Think Big podcast. We can't wait to see you on the next one. Thanks.
34. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Think Big podcast. If you can do me two big favors, if you can subscribe to the podcast to continue getting updates whenever new podcasts drop, and also if you can scroll to the bottom of the page and just give this podcast a review. We want to continue pushing it out to more people, sharing what we're talking about, and educating more people in the building industry. I would also like to say a huge thank you to two of our sponsors, All About Flooring and Go Digital. If you're interested in sponsoring the Think Big podcast for 2025, be sure to reach out to the HBA of Greenville today. Thanks.